That's technically an ad for an older TLC pay-per-view, but I couldn't find a good one for this one. But welcome to another episode of Spear from the Past. We're here to about TLC from 2018, back in the era where WWE thought, every gimmick match needs its own pay-per-view. But I've got Rich here. Richie, how's it going?
Yeah, again, good to be here, man. I am a bit glad Triple H has moved away from that, but I had fun. There's enough good on this show, and that promo is weirdly sexual, and that the tables are about as wooden as David Otunga's acting.
Yeah. But yeah, just getting into this, there is this is the era where they had matches on the pre-show. I did watch them, so I'll talk about them briefly. But yeah, we had Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship. There was nothing like this. It was a decent match for what it was. It was a pre-show match that I didn't expect much from anyway. But both Buddy and Cedric are excited to watch in the ring, and and then we had
was Buddy Cruiserweight champion at this point?
I think, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, because I actually was at the Melbourne show where he won the Cruiserweight title from Cedric. So yeah, so and now I get the timeline. This is around this time. Yeah.
And then we had Elias defeating Bobby Lashley in a ladder. It was a ladder match, but it was for his Elias's guitar. And
yeah, it's weird they put that on the pre-show. I would have taken those. There's a match I would have taken off for that.
Yeah, we'll get it. I mean, I agree. There was a decent match for what it was. And it also reminded me that Leo Rush was a thing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. But moving into the actual show, the first match we had on the card was I believe it was the finals of the Mixed Match Challenge.
It was if you were on Facebook Live, remember that was the thing they were touting? Facebook Live, you could watch this one for free, and then it was almost like an advert for the pay-per-view as well. So yeah. And I had totally forgot that R-Truth and Camilla were a thing, like an act.
Oh yeah. And it's just one of those ones I think I watched a couple of those Facebook Live matches too. Just the random pairings of him. Because I think Braun Strowman and Liv Morgan were a team at one point in this Mixed Match Challenge. I don't know much about what match. Who was paired up with who, but
I know he was paired with Alexa Bliss at some point.
I think it was born in
I mean, they became good friends off of that. I think so. That's kind of something.
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
But Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox is probably the randomest pairing. Just they could have come up with but this match was pretty much for the winning team to get the number 30 spot in the respective Rumbles in the Royal Rumble match,
and to go on holiday
to Stamford, Connecticut. But yeah, I mean the match itself was fun to watch. I completely forgot that. I don't know if it was a Kamala gimmick thing or R-Truth gimmick, but the random dance breaks in the middle of the match.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that gimmick. I actually didn't mind that dance break. And actually, they also changed the lyrics of his the theme song when it came out, other than the "What's Up" thing, obviously. But yeah. I actually thought that was like one of the few things in WWE at this time that worked. I thought their pairing was good. I think around this time too, they would it would be. This was around the time where R-Truth would it would run around for the 24/7 title, and Carmella would be piggybacking on his back. And I actually thought it was decent. I like this.
Yep. Protect R-Truth at all costs. and Brian wants to reach with them.
What do you say? Sorry, what did you say? Cut out.
Oh, I said protect our truth at all costs and find Bronson
Oh
Reed.
yeah. That dude doesn't age. I'm pretty sure Renee Young, who I'd forgotten was on, did commentary around this time. It was pretty good. Yeah, she said the exact same thing. She's like, you don't age, but yeah.
Yeah, but next up with the Bar defeating the New Day and the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And it's one of those ones like I kind of wish Cesaro wasn't released because I really like Cesaro and Sheamus as a tag team. And I think they could have done more with them. But it's just I think Cesaro wasn't doing much as a singles competitor. But this match I think was a really good match. Those New Day's always been exciting to watch, and the Usos when they were a team were also pretty good as well. But what did you think of this
Yeah,
tag match?
I mean, I would think. I mean, probably in the next, even probably a couple of months, you'll probably see Usos as a team again. I think they're building up to that for the Bloodline storyline. But yeah, I think Cesaro's contract expired. He didn't really get released.
Oh,
He opted to go to AEW. That was the issue. That was the thing. He did get money offered to come to stay, but he got more of an offer for AEW. So yeah, no, but this match is good. I always found it weird. Like, obviously, they were established as a tag team called the Bar, but the ring announcer refused to call them the Bar. It was just Sheamus and Cesaro. Why don't you just call them the Bar? They're the Bar. It's even on the Titantron. It says the Bar.
yeah.
Yeah, like, but you know, I thought this match was good. These three teams got great chemistry. There were a lot of close near falls. Yeah. No, this was really good. I always found it weird that that Kofi has that move where where he jumps outside. It's called like the trust fall, which is just a weird name for a move because it requires like that you're going to trust your opponent to catch you, but your opponent's not your opponent doesn't like you necessarily, so that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to hurt you. But yeah, But the match was good. I think probably the result was never in question because I think this was not long after New Day, like historic long reign ended. So yeah, I think it was too early to take the titles off the Bar, but. This is a good match to kick off the show. This is the right match to kick off the. I guess the mixed match sounds kick off the show, but like the proper without the Facebook Live thing.
Yeah, and this is one that I forgot that with the triple threat tag matches of like this whole like only two people in the ring at one time, they can tag in anyone they want or something. It's like
Yeah, that's sort of that's a bit of a nitpick. Like if there is three teams and three people, then a member of each team should be in the match. That's just I don't know. I've always been a stickler for that.
yeah, because they have to I think they must have changed it at some stage. I think now when they do triple threat tags, it's now that whole one person from each team is in the ring or something.
Yeah. It's just better that way because it's just like
oh yeah.
Why would you randomly tag someone else in so that another team member in so they could win this match? Anyway, it's just a bit weird.
But next up is this match because that's what it's booked. It's the Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. If Braun Strowman wins, he gets the Universal title match at Royal Rumble. If Baron wins, it was a TLC match because why not? But Baron,
this is weird. We'll get to it.
But Baron came out, made this huge speech how Braun was injured and like and wasn't going to come and was going to forfeit because he had Heath Slater here as the guest referee because I suppose Baron forced him to or something. I think I've vaguely watched WWE like Raw around this time, but I don't remember the lead up to this match. Like shows how forgettable this one is.
I only vaguely remember it. Yeah.
But then Braun comes out and reminds Baron that a TLC match is no disqualifications. It reveals ahead he has help in the form of Apollo Crews, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, and Finn Balor, and they all came out and attacked Baron Corbin. Then Heath Slater takes off his ref shirt, joins in the beatdown. Baron tries to escape, but then Kurt Angle comes out and chases him back to the ring, and then everyone hits their finisher on Baron Corbin, and Braun just pins him.
I
But
yeah. I,
but
I I guess they're trying to work around the fact that he might have been legit injured, but then
yeah,
like he's also maybe he's not injured like that badly considering he gets a title shot. I think they fall through the title shot at Royal Rumble, which is like a month or two later.
yeah,
So it's like yeah, but like I don't know. I think if you're, I would either have because he did imply. I thought initially when I watched this, like when else was live, I thought like okay, he's gonna have someone replace him in the match, and then they're gonna have a proper match. But like I get why they did it, but like I just feel like if you wouldn't be much if you advertise TLC, like maybe incorporate ladders and tables as well.
yeah.
You go. It was just chairs and stuff. It's like okay, and he just pins them in the foot. Mate, you could have put Baron next to a table. Please, you can't
Yeah,
have tables, ladders, and chairs, and not include ladders and chairs. It's just a chairs match.
um, yeah, and this is one of those, and there's definitely a few of these that are on this. It's like I don't know if this necessarily needed to be on the pay per view. That you could have done this more after, and it'll be fine. Like it,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
reason to be here.
And I don't even know. I can't even remember what the fallout is from this. I don't know if he actually because they build up like Miss McMahon's going to be on the um
Yeah,
on the show next week, and then Renee Young obviously had to be fed a line like, "Oh, Miss McMahon's a very smart man. He's gonna, he won't fall for this." I'm like, "Oh, that doesn't hold up well." Yeah, so I don't know. I can't actually remember whether I'm pretty sure he just sticks to. I think he fired like full on like UFIs him, and he just goes back to being a wrestler. But he still wrestles for a while in the suit, which is weird. It's I don't think Baron Corbin has really this sort of Baron Corbin thing didn't really it kind of hurt him a bit. And also I just remember around this time like WWE were going through like the sort of record low ratings, and then they did a storyline where they blamed it all on Baron Corbin, and I was like yeah it was his fault. I'm like yeah like you booked the show. Yeah, so, yeah.
yeah. No, I quickly looked it up. Like with the fallout from this, like the McMahon's announced that they'll both be running both Raw and SmackDown as a unit with no general managers. Baron Corbin then confronts them to have another shot at to become War general manager. Then, so Triple H says that if he can defeat Kurt Angle with guest referee Heath Slater, he could become the GM of Raw. And then in the middle of the match, Triple H adds Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, and Apollo Crews to make it a 4-on-1 handicap match that Corbin lost. So they just did another match to just get him out of not being a general GM.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think the work I've seen the work Baron Corbin's doing now is babyface. I think that's probably what I think that's what's been doing, but that's his best work and he's done in a while. But yeah, this stuff and then the Happy Corbin stuff, it's like the dude has talent, but you're like and you obviously like him, but you're giving him the wrong sort of gimmick. So hopefully they do something with him. I know ironically, it is ironic he's actually teaming with Apollo Crews now. So
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they do something with him because he's getting over.
Yeah, because I think at this point they just didn't know what to do with Baron Corbin. It's like, uh, but moving on with a tables match between Natalia and Ruby Riott, and like what this match is, I had fun. I always enjoy watching Natalia's matches. And I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot that Liv Morgan was part of the Riott squad when they debuted as well.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah,
believe the other one is who's now Valhalla, I believe.
yeah, Valhalla, Sarah Logan. Yeah,
Yeah.
like joining her because she's the actual wife of Eric from the Viking Raiders. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
um,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, this was a match of of just a lot of mind games in that. Because at the start of the match, the Riot Squad bring out a table with a portrait of Jim Neidhart on it.
Yeah, he had just
And then
passed away at this point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, this can't have been too long after he passed away. Actually, I,
Yeah, I think that the WWE, yeah, kind of, for better or worse, do storylines kind of, exploiting this sometimes. Where someone passes away, it's like, hey, well, yeah, well, it's really good for heel heat. Making fun of,
yeah,
someone's dead, family member. So yeah, that's what they did.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, there's one of those ones. I don't know if they'd announced like done a promo or something revealing the table beforehand, but because in the middle of the match, like randomly, like Natalia then brings out a table that had Ruby Riot on it, and
yeah.
then puts on her dad's jacket. So it kind of makes me wonder if they did do a promo revealing the table
Mhm.
beforehand, because the fact that Natalia had a table with Ruby on it really like is
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, funny if like they accidentally pulled out the wrong tables. Like she pulled out the one with her dad and the other. But like, what? Why do I got? Why's this table got my face on it? Why am I pulling
Yeah.
this one out? Oh,
Um, but the match itself was like pretty good for a tables match. Like I always like, and it's kind of sad they're not really doing anything with Natalia at the moment because like despite the criticisms, like I do think she's a good wrestler. And
yeah,
yeah, I don't know if it's because like she's sort of considering retirement or just they've just got nothing for her. But yeah, but what did you think about Natalia versus Ruby Wyatt?
yeah. The problem is that they, all throughout her career, they really, they're stop and start with her. They really kind of do much with her, and it sucks to kind of admit that they probably really did this. Like, yeah, it just started to push her here because of the passing of her father, but yeah, but the crowd wanted it, and like, yeah, she's got upside. Like, she's really respected in the locker room. She's a great wrestler. Yeah, I think like, she could. I think she could do with a manager as far as like promos goes because she's not the greatest at that.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh yeah.
I think she, like I, I think she's like worth more. So I know she was like doing stuff in NXT. I think she recently re-signed. Like there was talks about her not re-signing, but I think
Yeah.
she had re-signed. So I'm not sure. Like I would like her to do something before like she hangs it up. But yeah, like give her a decent run because like yeah, I feel like that she's just sort of there all the time, and then like, oh, it's like, oh cool, and then occasionally they'll push her, and they've given her god awful gimmicks in the past. Like she had a farting gimmick at one point, like the farting Natalia. But yeah, this match, and I say it's decent. And the crowd were getting into it at the end there. Yeah, I saw, and around this time too, it wasn't like Ruby, like the Riot Squad weren't getting pushed that much either. So I'm glad that they'll actually get to do something like Ruby Riot and yeah, now Ruby Soho in AEW. Um, but yeah, yeah, because she's really good, and I don't think she was sort of treated as an upper echelon talent either. But so it was good to see them on pay per view because it's two women you don't really that are sort of just relegated to TV mostly. So
Oh
it's good to see.
yeah. Um, but next up, because there's a match that I completely forgot that before the Judgment Day, Drew McIntyre still had issues with Finn. But we had Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre, which I thought was a pretty good match for what it was. But I don't. This was one of this was the WWE like had the at this time. Like I think there was a lot of matches they were put on the card last minute, and I feel like this was one of them because I don't know if there was much of a story there because I think Drew McIntyre was helping Baron Corbin as well, and they had issues, but I don't really know the storyline here. It was a good match for what it was, but I don't know if it was needed to be on a pay per view. But Richie, what did you think about Finn versus Drew?
Yeah, I know. I try to explain like a little bit here. I thought the mate. Well, I mean, as we get in the match, the storyline seems to be more Drew versus Dolph, and yeah,
Yeah,
Finn's caught in the middle there. I don't know. I think we already saw like Finn as just sort of like, oh, yeah, Finn, just get back here. All right. But yeah, I don't know. This match what it was. Yeah, it's probably to get they're decent stars to get them on the card. I've never my pet peeve has always been like when a baby face needs help to win. So, but like to be fair, like the way they did this is like um, Finn Balor didn't know Dolph Ziggler would come out, and and he did it like when
Yeah,
he did it when like 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 that when Drew McIntyre was down. But but that storyline was weird in itself. Where it's like they confront him backstage, and then Drew, and then Dolph just attacks him. I don't know who to cheer for here. What am I supposed to? I don't know.
yeah,
What am I supposed to get out of the storyline? But yeah, this is sort of when like it's cool. I mean, he's better off than being in like when he was in 3MB, but it's sort of like Drew was in that sort of upper cut spot where he's like a bodyguard for him and Bobby Lashley, bodyguards for Baron Corbin, but they're just sort of there. I don't want to be till like early 2020, late 2020, late 2019, where he kind of breaks out and actually
yeah.
becomes his own man. So yeah, he's sort of floundering a little bit here, and the crowd aren't like as into him as they would be, in 2024. So yeah, I mean the match is good chemistry. I'm guessing they've probably wrestled each other like thousands of times, given are in the UK, in the European UK scene. So it's good. It's a good match.
Yeah, and just slightly off topic, like I'm glad, like I'm glad that Dolph is kind of getting a bit of a run as a real champion over in TNA now. Was Nick Nemeth he's now known as, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad he's getting an opportunity too. It wouldn't shock me if like before he hangs it up, if he has like one more little run in WWE and they actually use him better now that he's kind of. I think cause sometimes there's a track record of like proving yourself, elsewhere than coming back. Like Drew and like Cody and a few other people.
yeah. I mean, I think with this whole crossover thing that TNA is doing, with NXT is like I think like they've definitely got a good relationship now. And, but yeah, but anyway, moving on, we've got Rey Mysterio taking on Randy Orton in a cheers match, which I still think is weird to have a match all about using cheers, but
What's that?
it is. Oh, Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton in the cheers match.
Yeah, yeah. What was that? What did you say after that?
Oh, I think I still think it's weird having a match dedicated to just cheers, but it is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, it was probably weirder when I think it might have been the year after. There was like I think Eric Rowan took on the Big Show in a stairs match. They did tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs.
Yeah, no, I think I vaguely remember that. It was, um, but yeah, but the match itself, like once again, like I've mentioned Rey Mysterio a few times doing this, like he's always been an exciting wrestler to watch. Like I've always enjoyed watching his matches, and this is no exception.
Yeah,
And Randy Orton's also a really good wrestler as well. It's just one of those fun matches that I would argue didn't really need the gimmick of a chess match at all. Because
yeah, but I
but
guess you gotta like
oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, you gotta like sort of put in with the gimmick. I guess even like like the issue with gimmick pay per views is that like some feuds would start in a TLC match. You're like, no, like the TLC match and like a Hell in a Cell should be like the culmination of a feud. That should be like the end point of a feud, not the
yeah,
start. It makes no sense. So, just so the gimmick kind of gets in the way of it. Um, but yeah, I thought this chair match was fun. I've always liked the move that Ray does where he like slides to the outside and like splashes onto the on the outside and then with the chair. I always thought it sort of looks cool. And yeah, it's crazy he can still move around as well as he does, given how many knee surgeries he had. So yeah, and these guys have always had good chemistry. They've wrestled each other heaps of times. I think Ray won the world title by pinning Randy Orton at WrestleMania 1 year. So
yeah.
yeah, no, so and this is a fun match. Even though like I think Ray got a lucky win, sort of like slip on a banana peel type thing. But yeah, I thought it was a fun match. Randy Orton's always really good at being a heel. He gets praise for being a wrestler, but I don't think he gets enough praise. Just his character work and the way how methodical he is, and like his ring psychology. So yeah, he's really good here as well. So didn't think the crowd were as into it as they could have been, but like maybe they were just tired. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those ones like it's not like there was a lot of sort of bangers before they did the just sort of matches. Um, and one thing I did forget to mention, I didn't take notes on all of them just because a lot of these backstage segments were just kind of inconsistent, inconsequential.
Yeah,
But um, but like there's a whole like through line throughout this of Becky Lynch sort of um punching Nia at one point, and just like it was, they're all really short backstage segments that I think ultimately at least one of them did culminate in the final match, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But next up we've got Ronda Rousey facing off against Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. And it's one of those ones like I know there's people that are heavily critical on Ronda Rousey. Like I think she, I just like Logan Paul. I think Ronda Rousey is one of those ones that was like I think she was trying to sort of um adapt her ring style from what she would do in like MMA and UFC and that to sort of wrestling. Like, well, I don't think she was doing it perfectly. I think the match between her and Nia Jax was still pretty good as well, though. Because like, I think Nia Jax is also one of those ones that gets a lot of flack at times as well, which I don't think it's necessarily deserved. But what did you think about Ronda Rousey versus Nia
it,
Jax?
Ronda Rousey at this point, I felt was like more tolerable. I actually didn't mind her. It was her second run where it was like clear she didn't want to, like it was just like clear like she didn't want to be there half the time. That
Yeah,
put me off. I just like what if you don't want to be here, just you got enough money, do something else. Uh, but yeah, and like Nia Jax, yeah, I mean she gets a lot of flack. I'm probably guilty of that and especially at this point. I will say, like we talked about it on Lonely Mugs, but like she might like be not like when you do our sort of the year end award, she might be nominated for like a bit most improved. Like I don't know, I think her matches like this year, with with Becky, like, people, Becky Lynch, Bailey, and like I think they've been pretty decent. So and Lara Valkyria. So
yeah,
um, yeah, I think she's actually and her character work's been good. So yeah, yeah, big up to her. And yeah, but this match is all right. It wasn't. On paper you think, oh man, this is you need someone to probably carry Ronda Rousey a bit, and Nia Jax isn't the person to do it. But yeah, it served its purpose. It was good for what it was. And
yeah.
yeah, like Ronda Rousey hadn't worn out her welcome yet, so she was over.
But next up we had like Daniel Bryan defeating AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. And well, yeah, just like a lot of these, like I don't have too much issues with the match. It's just a pretty good like wrestling match. And it, um I believe is Daniel Bryan's officially retired, or is he announced he's
No, I
retiring?
mean he's going after the AEW title was against Swerve at Wembley in London a couple of weeks. But they're
Yeah,
doing the whole thing where it's like, yeah, this will be his last year as a full time wrestler. But they're going full all in on that, which makes me think that he is actually going to win the title. But like, yeah, I still think he's probably going to wrap it up here sometime soon because he's done a lot of his body's a bit banged up in there. So yeah,
oh yeah,
he's been doing this, very consistently since like 2000, like four, I want to say 2005. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably wrong on that. If you had JPO on that, he'll be able to tell you more. Um, but yeah, he has a really breakneck style, which is like, which is it's cool to watch. But yeah, maybe not great for you when you're in your 40s.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I wish I could still do energetic stuff like that and when I'm in my 40s,
Yeah.
but um, but the match itself, like it was a pretty good match. Like Daniel Bryan got the win against AJ Styles, but and both them both these wrestlers are great as well. And because Daniel Bryan got it up with a sort of roll up sort of pinfall, well, I don't, as I said, I don't really have much notes on this. Like it, it was just good. Butchie, what did you think about Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles?
No, I thought that was really good. I love this version of Daniel Bryan with the sort of the world's like the people's world champion where he's like being all eco warrior. I mean, it's weird because he's like not saying anything wrong. Where he's just like talking about like being all preachy vegan, but like saying like correct things, but like you're a dick, but you're right. Uh, but yeah, and having that sort of custom belt that hurt that that made out of plant like supposedly made out of plants, and he was tag champions with like Eric Rowan around this time, as well.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this part of Randy. Randy, Daniel Bryan. I thought it was really really well done. That he could that he could like become such a beloved character and then like just make that turn and make it work. But this match was really good. I thought it was one of the better matches on the show actually. No surprise there because like these two still very similar, came out at the same time, and they're they still can go to this day. They're quite legendary. I think they're also in the same position in their careers. Like AJ has been teasing retirement lately as well. I know he might can't. There's rumors he might be coming back to SmackDown soon, but yeah, I don't anticipate he'll be going for much longer. I think he'll probably wrap it up. I still think he'll be in WWE doing backstage stuff, but these two guys are sort of, in my opinion, like first ballot Hall of Famers. They're just two of the best all time, and this match showed.
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those ones that bought into the whole fact that AJ Styles was going to retire when he came out earlier this year.
Yeah, I guess being a newish sort of wrestling fan, you wouldn't really click that it was a throwback to the Mark Henry fake retirement.
Oh no, I remember seeing that as well. It was just one of those. It's just one of those ones like I didn't click the connection until someone pointed it out to me. It's like, yeah, I should have picked up on that. um, um, and apparently Mark Henry's son is a son of WWE now.
Yeah, they were showing in the crowd on Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next up, we had an intercontinental match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I think this was either shortly after Shield broke up or after.
It was right after so Roman Reigns is not on the show because he only just announced that he had cancer lymphoma,
Yeah.
so he had to go away. And then they did a thing where because you weren't expecting it, it was kind of a memorable heel turn where it's like, well, you're not expecting it because it's like they're not gonna do it this time. But yeah, that was the one they pulled the trigger on the heel turn where Dean Ambrose turned heel on Seth Rollins. But yeah, and so yeah, I don't know. I thought given all the tension and stuff going into it, the fact that they just had a I don't know, it's like a normal just a normal match.
Yeah.
And just they're like, I'm gonna rip you limb from limb, and then they're just doing rest holds, and it's kind of boring. It's like, all right, just like, all right. I was expecting more of a fight from you guys. I thought this was kind of disappointing. I don't know what and maybe I don't know who mapped out the match. I don't know who the agent was, but yeah, I was just like, yeah, these two are capable of so much more, and I don't know what held it back, but yeah, it's just not. I don't know. It could have been a lot. I think that this heel turn was the impetus of Dean Ambrose, John Moxley now leaving WWE because he didn't like he didn't like the fact that the way the heel turn came about, and he also didn't like like apparently he was he was initially scripted to say stuff about Roman Reigns' cancer that he wasn't going to say, but then as a result they gave him like dumb lines like he'd come out with a gas mask on and be like, "You fans are disgusting. You fans are icky and gross." It's yeah, they just give him dumb dialogue to say. Yeah, pretty. um, yeah. So yeah, this was like sort of the beginning of the end of his WWE run, which is the heel turn. But yeah, I didn't like the booking of this match. I thought that these guys are capable, but yeah, just wasn't what I was expecting. But yeah, it's
and I believe this might have been the semi start, like when they were a feud, because I think they did feud for a little bit after this as well.
Yeah.
But and then on to the main event. We had Asuka versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair in a TLC match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. One of the few times where a woman would actually main evented a pay per view, which
Yeah, I appreciate that.
oh yeah, and what it was the match itself was really good. Like and it's um what TLC because I believe they were saying this is the first time like women's have been in like a TLC match or something as in general.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
It would make sense timeline wise. Yeah.
But the match itself was exciting with a lot of great spots. And at one point during the match, as revenge for something Ronda Rousey sort of comes out and um knocks Flair and Lynch off the ladder, which helped pave the way for Asuka to get the win. So the storytelling there was Ronda Rousey said in the backstage segment earlier that her feud with Charlotte is not over, and that and in the process costing basically the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins feud
Yeah.
early. But I think, and from what I remember, I think Asuka's there's always one of those ones I think is a great championship. I think she this is shortly after she's moved up from NXT after her big sort of historic title run there as well. But if I remember what
Yeah, like it was like I think she got called up and then had the WrestleMania match with Charlotte, which she lost, which was shocking.
yeah,
But then at the time, and then yeah, but and I can't remember. I think she faces I can't remember. She might face she faced I can't remember who she faces here. It might be at WrestleMania. I think it might is it Bianca. I can't remember. You can look it up, but
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I think it sort of makes sense when you look at it from the perspective that they're building up a triple threat match and building up for Becky. I think they're building up for Becky Lynch to have a big moment. Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense for Asuka to get the title. And but yeah, this was a great match, great showcase for all three women who were the best women on the roster at the time, and still are the sort of best three women on the roster. I don't know what's Becky Lynch's status at the moment. I mean, unless she teased retirement on Instagram, but don't know. It wasn't anything sort of official. Really, I don't know. And then they had that, whether she's just said maybe implying she's coming back at a different gimmick because she just said that it's been an honor to being the man for you all these years. I don't know. That could mean that she comes back. It could mean she just comes back as a different gimmick. I don't know. I feel like if she was retiring, it'd be a bigger deal. But
I think at the moment it's probably just a case of just taking time off because I think she's going to take time off after Mania, but with Rhea going out, I think it's just kind of
she had to fill that spot.
Yeah.
And then because I think the Liv Rhea feud is going to be a lot earlier than it ended up being. And so yeah, but like yeah, and Charlotte's always like always reliable. I'm sure she'll be back soon too. But I kind of think about all three of these women are injured at the moment, or out at the
Yeah,
moment. Uh, yeah, so that sucks. Yeah, Asuka's injured at the moment too. But yeah, like all three women are great. And yeah, this match is good, and yeah, it's good for Asuka too. So yeah, it was a fun match.
yeah. No, I'm kind of hoping that when Becky doesn't come back as a different gimmick because, um, as a fun fact, like one thing I found out, like Becky Lynch is the only one of the only superstars who has never had a change in her theme music at all, like in her whole time of being in WWE.
Yeah, they
Um,
changed they changed the gimmick slightly with like big time Bex when she's a heel,
yeah,
but never her like theme song. Yeah, uh, yeah.
so I
So
know,
that's,
because I
yeah,
know there's a lot of people who was like, "Oh God, if she comes back, she's going to be death tripled up." Which
yeah,
look, and for what it's worth, I will defend Death Triple some because I do think some of their theme songs they do are good. Like I
yeah,
do like Halo Knight's theme, which I
yeah. I
think
don't
they've
mind that theme.
altered slightly too. Some people say, but I couldn't tell any difference.
Yeah, I like the fact that they sort of brought back Sheamus's old theme a bit with the old, yeah. So I don't know. I like some of their themes, but yeah, that's definitely not as good as it was a few years ago. But like I think unlike years past, they're more perceptive to things that don't work and then change. So I think you could probably
Yeah,
get. I think there's more hope that part of things could improve in time. But yeah, I'm hoping that we'll see these three back in the ring at some point soon.
yeah. Um, but if you had a time machine, could go back in time and change one booking decision or something about this pay per view, what would you change?
Um, I would, I would have, I would just have Rollins and Dean Ambrose have like a proper like grudge match where it's if do what you say you're gonna do, like absolutely, you know, have a
Yeah,
like a dog fight, go tear each other limb from limb. Don't tell me that you're going to tear each other limb from limb, and then go for rest hold or go.
yeah. I was leaning towards that one, but the other one that I did think about as well is that I would switch Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman to the pre-show and then move Elias and Bobby Lashley to the main show because just because and like as I said, like I don't think Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman that needed to be on the pay per view. It's just like just with
Yeah,
how it ended up. Like if it was one of those psych outs where it was like revealed that Braun Strowman wasn't injured and that it was an actual match, then it would be different.
yeah.
But it wasn't. So,
Or even if he was just like, hey, you know, you're not, like, yeah, okay, I'm injured, but like, you're still wrestling, and Apollo Crews is going to be in the match, and then you can still do the,
yeah,
people interfering thing, and then just have Apollo Crews win, and then yeah, the stipulation still stands. So yeah.
but overall, what would you give this TLC pay per view out of 5 stars?
I think there's enough decent on there. It wasn't like there wasn't as much weird booking as you come to expect from around this time. And there's enough, the work rate was decent, and I think the main event kind of saved it a bit. I would go probably solid 3. I think I think the main event's really good. I think AJ Daniel Bryan's as delivers. I think the bar Usos and New Day are great. And yeah, there's a couple of like weird sort of decisions with like obviously the Braun and Baron Corbin. The Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose match was a bit weird. So yeah, just that but yeah, which kind of brings it down for me. But yeah, it's not a bad show by any means. Yeah, when I kind of sit in Chad that this is a rough one. I was thinking that I misremembered which one this was. But then when I got into it, I'm like, oh, this one's not too bad.
Yeah, I was probably a little bit higher on this one than you, because for me, I would give it a 3 out of 5. Like, when you said it was a rough one of the chest, like, oh shit, it's not good. It's just going to be like a completely opposite thing. There's like, but yeah, it's 3 out of 5 out of 5. It's decent for what it was like, and yeah, but it's time to spin the wheel to see what the next pay-per-view I'll be watching is. Um, it's going to be NXT Takeover from Dallas.
Oh man, that's a great one. Great one. Yeah.
And I haven't actually watched these NXT. Well, I don't. I
You're
haven't
in for a
really
treat,
delved
man.
into
The
some new.
takeover is cool.
Oh yeah. So it'll be. It'll definitely be interesting to watch an NXT show, especially just that there'll be a few people that I actually do recognise on this too, because I think I remember what Sami Zayn net on it.
Yeah, I can't remember. Sometimes the only issue is sometimes I'm never good at like the takeovers on trivia because
Oh
yeah they roll into one sometimes. I'm like, oh okay, was that takeover that? Oh, okay, oh no, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's because I'm in Impact. But with that, that does bring us to the end of this. But Richie, we can do it for you online.
Yeah, you can find me. Yeah, just on Tournament Vibes Tier Ranker. Also do a wrestling podcast with Austin Pezhow, Jacob Barber, and John Pierce Owens on Thursday night. So this week we are going to be doing a tier ranker, not tier ranker, a rankum on like the best wrestlers of the 2000s. I believe Corey C4 is also going to be joining us. Yeah, that's going to be hard to kind of narrow down 12 people. So yeah, that should be fun. And then we'll be doing a wheel of movies at some point soon. I've got to talk to Austin about rescheduling because I'll be away most of next week as well. And then I feature in multiplex sometimes too, and JPO's channel doing trivia, John Maher's channel, Why We Love Horror. Check me out there, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And you can follow me on Tape Productions, the host of Rankum every week. Next week we're going to be ranking the Alien movies, which is the main Alien franchise, plus the 2 Alien versus Predator movies. And you can also sort of find me hosting Fear from the Past each week, and then you can find me popping up on tier ranker and tournament fights here and there and everywhere. But until next time, we'll see you next time.
Bye.